Improving this year will help you get lower scores instantly, and that is short game. Here we're down by the side of the green here at Woolley Park as James stands on my pitching wedge. But obviously what we want to do is improve your short game. How many times you go down to your practice green, I can guarantee you're all sat there going, well, I think I went once last year and it was really just to have a chip off with my mate Dave. So we want to get you practicing your short game this year, but knowing exactly what to do. Obviously here I've got a chip. I often see people do exactly this. They get the 60 degree out, they're on a nice tight lie, and they just hit a chip shot there. Oh, it's popped up a little bit, but oh, it's actually ran out quite well there. I'll take that. They'll just say, I'll take that. And that's the thing. We're not trying to be positive. You're thinking on a tee box, you're stood there with your driver going, I want to hit this 200 yards, I want to hit it straight down the middle. Here, a lot of people are just thinking, please just get it on the green and please give myself a putt. From there, obviously that's around about 8 feet, I would say. That's going to be a 50-50% chance, mate, for a tour player. So if you're a mid-handicap golfer, if you're an everyday golfer, even if you're a scratch golfer, the likelihood of holing that, the percentage-wise, is pretty low. What we want to do with short game to get you better is start to understand where your low point is. So where this club is coming down and making contact with the ground. Because if we can do that, we can start to pick the loft, we can start to go through our wedges and start to see, right, what do we want to use? For example, like I've said here, I have got my Takomo Skyforger 60 degree, not a club that I use a lot, but a lot of people and a lot of amateurs do certainly go to this club straight away, so well, it's easier with more loft. Well, we have to be more precise on where we're getting. So if you go down to your practice area, imagine this white line. Even if you put something down there, put some tees in and stuff.
Take a bit of paint down, why not?
Yeah, take a bit of paint down. But if you've got a couple of tees in your pocket, you could maybe put a tee in here next to your golf ball and start to see, right, where am I taking a little bit of ground? Thank you very much, that was the hint. Right, I put that in there next to my golf ball, and I can start to see when I've hit that ball, where have I made contact with the ground? Because we want to obviously be catching that golf ball first and then brushing the ground a little bit after. We're not trying to be all this shallow. We're not trying to scoop it off there. I'm not trying to barely make any kind of contact with the turf.
Well, that's what Phil Mickelson does.
That is what Phil Mickelson does. And if you can practice as much as Phil Mickelson, then you will be able to play those shots. But from here, obviously, we want to see your setup. We want to get it nice and consistent. So left foot turned out if you're a right-handed golfer. And people say, well, why is that? I don't want to stand there. You'll look like a bit of a clown. I went, well, no, this is... The reason for this is to help us rotate. It allows us to turn a little bit easier, because if we start to get our feet nice and square or even inwards, it limits how much I can turn, and we often see this kind of leg position, which is not what you see when you're watching the PGA Tour or any kind of tour on TV. So we want to get that left foot turned out. My sternum again wants to be a little bit ahead of the ball, so it's ahead of the ball, so it's encouraging us to hit down into that golf ball, but more importantly, catch the ball first. So as James would say, James, catch the
small ball before the big
there
ball.
We go. You had to think about that then. So obviously now for trajectory and what...
I would also beg you all not to do what Chris is doing. You were going to play a shot like that?
I was just waiting for you to bring the old towel over. Look at that now. So obviously, clean grooves. Obviously, if we've got a dry face, it's the same with your irons. Obviously, this time of the year, you are probably cleaning and placing still. But even so, if you do practice swings, if you play early in the morning, if you don't take the dew off your club face, you could lose 10, 20 yards with a driver or an iron. So you could hit it fantastically out of the middle and not get control. So here, a nice dry club face. I'm going to try and play this one a little bit lower so it's back in my stance. You can see there, came out much lower, nice and positive towards the flag. But let's look at that interaction with the turf. So obviously I was trying to catch the ball first, then take
impeccable.
A little bit of a divot, and we've done exactly as it says on the tin. But obviously as soon as we do that, we start to get confidence. If I know where my low point is, obviously we can then start to think, right, do you know what, I can be positive with that shot. I'm not just thinking, oh, please just go on there and give myself a chance to putt. And this is exactly the same as what you can do in the bunker. So when you go go in the bunker and you're practicing, just draw a line in the sand. Practice, draw a line behind.
Sometimes you have to draw a line in the sand, mate, don't you?
You do have to draw a line in the sand. Do that and you're going to start to understand where you are entering the sand. Obviously with a bunker shot you want to actually hit the sand first and then the golf ball, but obviously it's a great practice thing to do.
What about that one?
Oh, we do have that one here. So if you don't want to put a tee in the ground, if you like James and you don't like to waste tees, what we can do is get this set up here.
King's Barnes, by the way, if anyone's ever been.
King's Barnes, delightful place. You can pop that behind the golf ball.
Isn't it?
Yeah, so this is where you're trying to think about how close you can get your contact and are you hitting down. So your feedback straight away here is if I was to set up to this golf ball and I was somebody who starts to release the club early, I'm going to be catching the towel. The towel's going to, so we're not going to cause any damage. It's not going to hurt your wrist. It's not going to do any damage, obviously, but it's going to give you that feedback. So from here, you've really got to focus, sternum ahead of the golf ball. Just caught it. But you see there, nice bit of feedback. I did clip it on the way down, but look at the interaction with the turf. And again, look at the shot there. Not the best, but because we've got the fundamentals nearly perfect, we've still got a good result. So guys, if you can start to practice a little bit better, we can start to save you some shots off your scores in 2024 and get good at golf.